Hello and welcome to the Real Estate Regroup Show. I am your host, LJ Walker, and I am here to wish you guys a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. So, as we are at the end of the year, there are certain things that many investors and homeowners do. This is the time when we normally reflect, plan, and prepare for what's next. Now, be honest with you. We're not going to be 100% certain. Many of us are not prophets. We don't have a crystal ball. So we can't necessarily predict everything that's going to be going on next year and everything that's going to be happening next year. But here's what I say that we got to do. We got to prepare for the best and for the worst, because let's face it, the sun does not shine all the time. It does rain. So when it rains, make sure you have an umbrella. And also, listen, it recently snowed up here, and guess what? The sun was shining sometimes on the days when it did snow. So I say this to say that you have to be able to pivot. You have to be able to realize that there are seasons, not only, physically with the weather that does affect real estate, but there's also seasons as far as how the real estate market moves and how much money you're going to make and how much money you're not going to make, depending on what happens. All right. So instead of just writing down goals for next year, which is a step, some people don't write down any goals at all, but it's a step. It's good still to write down goals, but break them down into actionable steps. Okay? That's basically what I advocate for. When you don't know what step to take, that is the time when you reach out to the people in your network who are already where you want to be. And then you ask them how they got where they were and what their next moves are going to be. If there's a chance to meet them at an event or a conference, make it a priority to actually show up. Speaking of conferences, though, this is actually the perfect time to plan for the year ahead. Travel deals are normally cheaper now, and locking into those dates ensures you stay committed to learning and networking in the upcoming months. All right. Another key end of task for investors, and this one is big, and that is tax planning. All right. Many of us make strategic purchases to reduce our taxable income. Why? Because the tax man cometh and he taketh much, and sometimes by force. All right. So what we normally do is you schedule inspections to see what repairs or improvements can be made. You also, well, me anyway, I start to move my money into tax shelters, if you will. I have a healthcare savings account, and then I have a whole lot of retirement. I have self-directed, I have solo, and I have a 401k. So I start increasing that, putting money into those particular areas. And of course, the HSA, the self-directed, and the solo, I can actually purchase real estate within those particular accounts. The other thing I do is I pay bills. So any bill that's due in January, I pay it now, so that this way I can put that out on my taxes. The other thing is I've set up the appointment with my accountant for a financial health checkup, so that together we can identify costs to cut and areas to improve. Okay. Listen, reflection is also crucial. This is the time where you look back and you assess what worked and what didn't. If something isn't delivering results, It's time to either cut down or cut it out. The key is to do more of what works and less of what doesn't. All right. Then there's also some practical stuff, such as now's the time where I file my paperwork, I shred what I don't need, try to get organized, start digitizing a lot of my documents. Even on the computer, I file my paperwork as well, just to make sure, right? This way, I don't know, for me, it just helps me start the year off on a clean slate, and it definitely is amazing. All right. Next thing, I don't really do this too much, but I'm gonna do it a little bit more, and that is to review my insurance policies. I actually need to buy insurance on one of the properties that I took back because it was under someone else, and now because I foreclosed on that person, it's now back in under my possession. So I do have to go over the insurance for that particular property. The other thing too is I'm gonna have to start looking at my agreements, go over them again to make sure that I am well protected. And I'm definitely going to get an attorney to look at it because there have been some laws that have changed. And then because we have a new president coming in, he may change the law again. Because the last time he was in office, he changed the law so much, I just couldn't keep up with it. And that's why I had to hire a servicer to help me out with all of my investments. It was just too much for me to do it by myself. So I'm going to be looking into that as well. All right. Now, as far as YouTube is concerned, I've been at it for a number of years now. I do see that I have new subscribers, which is great. And some videos hit as far as the views are concerned, and then some videos, the views weren't necessarily there. What I do notice though with YouTube is that sometimes it doesn't always count a view, because there's someone that I met online and he had a YouTube channel and I've watched a few of his videos, yet whenever I watch it, for some reason, his view ticker, if you will, still says 0. So I'm learning that you can't really count on YouTube too much when it comes to views. Okay. But what I am doing, I'm going to stick with it. I'm not going to kill myself over it. But the reason why I'm sticking with it a little bit longer, because I realize I still need to improve public speaking. The other day I was called to give a speech impromptu, and I wasn't as nervous as I normally would be. I still had some butterflies, but it wasn't as bad as before. And I think it's because the more I practice, the better I get at it. That's what I'm noticing. So that'll be just be that. So anyway, to round things up, whether it's networking, tax planning, or reflecting on the past year, the end of December is the perfect time to set yourself up for success. Remember, it's not just about setting goals, it's about creating a plan to achieve them and taking action. Let's make the new year your best one yet. I know we say that all the time. Everybody always say, oh, the next year is going to be better, or definitely make it the best, but don't beat yourself up when things don't always go as planned. But still make a plan. Still do your best to execute it. And at the same time, also give yourself some grace. Okay. All right, then. So that's basically all I wanted to share with you. Hopefully the information will help you make smart financial moves. Feel free to pass this amongst your friends. Remember, each one, reach one, teach one. Bye for now. Until next time. Have a good night.